Welcome, everybody. Let me double check something. Looks like we are having problems connecting with Facebook. So if there's a handful of you watching on YouTube, give me 1 minute. See if I can get added to Facebook here. And I know that Stephanie's watching, so maybe she can double check to see if it is live on Facebook. If not, we'll make sure we upload it to Facebook. I apologize. I'm not sure why it's not going to there. But, we'll get started. To respect Devin's time and everyone who is watching live, I'm very excited for this From the Expert call this month about stress, rest, and sleep. We have a newer member to our Active Scientist team, a product content specialist, Devin Martinez. He's here with us. Devin has been within the industry and within his field for 7 years of experience, which is amazing. He started with USANA just right before convention. So some of you may have met him at convention at the Ask the Scientist booth. If you have, put in the chat, say it's good to see you again, Devin. But we are excited for Devin and his content. And Devin is now going to wow us with his knowledge around rest or stress, rest, and sleep. So Devin, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for being here. I'm really excited to talk to you all for a little bit. Like TJ said, I'm going to be talking about stress, rest, and sleep. Some pretty relevant topics for today's world. People are pretty stressed out these days. Studies show that in general, people feel more occasional stress today than they did 30 years ago. And there's a number of different reasons for this, but obviously the COVID-19 pandemic is still more or less ongoing with holiday planning and stuff like that coming up that can be a cause for concern. We've got economic and political issues, not only in this country, but all across the world, causing some uncertainty and concern there as well. And amidst all that, we've got elections coming up and voting and all that entails. So a lot of stuff going on, definitely some good reason and for some occasional stress. So it's not surprising that over half of Americans report feeling occasionally stressed during the day. Among workers, that number goes up significantly, and people are even reporting that there are physical symptoms from this stress, and there are even social consequences too, with over half of people saying that their stress impacts their personal relationships as well. Another issue that can be related to stress is sleep, or rather lack of sleep. Currently, about 62% of adults worldwide feel that they don't sleep well enough when they go to bed. And this can have a huge impact, of course, on the way we look, the way we feel, the way we perform, and just our overall quality of life. But lack of sleep really becomes even more of an issue when people are already under stress. This is actually a really good example of a feedback loop, because stress prolongs the amount of time it takes you to fall asleep, and it fragments the sleep that you do get. But then that lack of sleep will actually trigger the release of cortisol, a stress hormone, which will then make it more difficult for you to fall asleep and get better sleep later. So not a good cycle to get caught in. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of problems in the world today, a lot of things causing people some occasional stress. But what can we do about this stuff? I don't claim to have all the solutions to all the political and economic issues in the world. But while we're figuring out all that big picture stuff, we still have to get through our day-to-day. And the best way to manage occasional stress, to manage your mood, to get better sleep, especially when life gets hectic, is to live a healthy lifestyle. And there's several elements to this. One of the most important aspects of living a healthy lifestyle is a diet, a nutritious, whole food-based diet. Having a good diet really isn't about like drastic or extreme decisions. It's more about making those small choices each day that can become consistent habits. Whole foods, fruits, vegetables, that's really the foundation of a solid diet. Of course, proper hydration and high quality vitamins and minerals are super important as well. These are some other elements to a healthy lifestyle. Exercise is, of course, one of the really important ones as well. Exercise is obviously really good for the body, but it actually has a lot of benefits for the mind as well. It really helps keep you sharp, your cognition, your focus. It also helps boost your mood naturally. It can be a really natural way to deal with stress, feelings of anxiety and other emotions. It will help you get better sleep. A lot of different benefits from exercise. Of course, another foundation of a healthy lifestyle is sleep. And even if this is a difficulty for you, if you do have trouble sleeping, there's a lot of different things that you can do to give yourself a better chance at having a good night's sleep. For example, establishing a really relaxing bedtime routine, managing your sleep environment so that it's dark and comfortable. These things can go a long way to help you get a good night's rest. But as an added support and supplement to these healthy habits and a healthy lifestyle, USANA has developed a line of products specifically for mood, relaxation, and emotional well-being. There's a lot of really interesting science and ingredients and benefits in these products, and we're going to get through each of them. But first, really quick, I want to ask a question about stress. So feel free to just drop your answer in the comments below. I'll be kind of watching from this side, and then we'll move on. But the question is, which of the following can help the brain and body maintain resilience during times of occasional stress? So there's your options. Go ahead and I'll give you about a minute. Drop your answer in the comments, and we'll talk about it in a second. Okay, if you said D, ashwagandha, you're correct. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen, and it can, in fact, help the brain and body maintain resilience during times of occasional stress. If you said B as an answer, your answer is actually partially correct too. That vitamin does have some influence on stress as well. But the main one here is ashwagandha. We'll talk a little bit more about ashwagandha in a second. But first, let's talk about the first product in this line. It's called Pure Rest, and it's a melatonin sleep support. So our bodies are naturally synchronized with the Earth's rotation, or the sun's light and dark cycle. So when our environment gets dark, the brain initiates the production of melatonin. Now, melatonin is the hormone that's responsible for managing the body's sleep-wake cycle. It's partly responsible for things like lowering your body temperature and blood pressure at night. And actually, the reason why it's not recommended to use screens or be exposed to blue light at bedtime is because that kind of light inhibits the production of melatonin. It can really disrupt sleep. So supplementing melatonin can really help you get a good night's rest. It's especially useful for realigning your sleep cycle after traveling, or if you've experienced jet lag. If you work night shifts or have like an irregular work schedule in that way, melatonin can really help you sleep better when something is throwing you off your sleep cycle. Sleep quality and melatonin production both generally decline with age. So this product can be really useful for individuals over the age of 50 as well. So it's intended to be used as needed. It's completely safe, non-habit forming, and it works directly with your body's natural sleep-wake cycles. It's best to take Pure Rest within 30 minutes to an hour before going to bed. Really, the only concern here is just to not take it too early if you don't want to fall asleep in the middle of something or some plans or whatever you're doing. The tablets are scored, so adults, you can break the tablet in half and start with just a lower dosage, just the 1 milligram dosage, and try that out if you'd like. And aside from a better sleep and a more natural sleep-wake cycle, melatonin has some antioxidant properties as well. So this product kind of offers the added bonus of helping with the restorative cellular and tissue healing process that happens at night by neutralizing some of the oxidative stress that you'll just encounter throughout your day. So yeah, highly recommend trying it out. This is a great product, a really great melatonin supplement. The next product in this line is called Stress Relief. This is a mood support supplement, and there's a lot of different ingredients in this product that are really interesting, and we'll get into them right now. So the main plants in this formula are saffron, lemon balm, and ashwagandha. Saffron, well, all these plants really have been foundational in traditional medicine around the world for centuries. But during World War II is when modern science started learning a lot more about their benefits for stress in particular. Saffron and lemon balm both exhibit calming properties through their influence on GABA receptors. And we have some more information about this on the Ask the Scientist website if you'd like to learn more about some of the science and mechanism of action. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about ashwagandha. Ashwagandha, the name itself means smell of a horse because that's what the root smells like. And this is an adaptogen, like we mentioned earlier. Adaptogens like ashwagandha help the body maintain resilience during times of occasional stress. And they actually manage sensitivity to stressors. A good way to think about this is that ashwagandha has a protective and adaptive effect with regard to stress. So if we're thinking about the modern science's conceptualization of stress or the stress theory, this was developed by the researcher Hans Selye. And he describes stress in three different phases. First, you have an alarm phase where the stress is kind of shooting up. And then you have a phase of resistance, followed by a dip, which is called the phase of exhaustion. And when you use adaptogens, what the adaptogen does is it prolongs the phase of resistance in stress. And instead of an exhaustion phase with a really deep dip, you do have somewhat of a dip, but you essentially have established a new equilibrium or a new threshold for homeostasis. And that gap between the previous exhaustion phase and your new threshold for stress is what's considered the adaptation. That's kind of how ashwagandha helps build that resilience to occasional stress. So really interesting stuff. There's actually a lot of research that's yet to be done and a lot more that we have to learn about adaptogens in general, but ashwagandha is one of the more studied varieties. And there's a lot more information and research on our website as well about some of this stuff. Overall, these ingredients together in this product can support adaptation to occasional stress, a balanced mood, calm feelings, a centered disposition, and healthy emotional response. Okay, last but not least is the essential oil balm. This is called Calm Response. And essentially, essential oils are hydrophobic liquids that are derived from plants. And these oils contain what are known as volatile aromatic compounds. And they're so called because they easily transition from their liquid state to the gas state, or they evaporate readily. They're called essential oils because they were known as the essence of a plant. And essential oils is essentially the reason that a plant smells the way it does. So the ability to smell is called olfaction, and the parts of the brain that control olfaction are also responsible for processing emotions. So using aromatherapy, using an essential oil blend, or a product like this can be a really powerful way to influence your mood and manage stress and emotions naturally. So these are the different essential oils in this blend. You'll notice that lavender and ylang-ylang are floral in their aroma. Bergamot is more citrusy, and the hoe wood and patchouli provide like the earthy, more grounding sense. So it's a really balanced blend and can provide a sense of emotional fortitude, calm feelings, and just an overall sense of well-being. So this is the mood and relaxation line. The idea here is that whether you're somebody that just needs to take a deep breath every once in a while and kind of get through occasional stress, or if you need help getting to sleep and resting better, or if you need a more general support in managing occasional stress, that there's a product in here that anyone can benefit from on a mental and emotional level. And of course, like I've mentioned, if you are interested in any more of the science, the mechanisms behind some of these products, the research or clinical studies behind any of them, or even some of the ingredients, and learning more about these different ingredients and why we've chosen certain formulas, please visit Ask the Scientist. There's some really good information on the website, and we try to update it regularly and just add more as new products come out. You can also write in and ask us any questions that you have through this website. So definitely use that as a resource. All right, and that's all I have for y'all today. If there's any questions, I'll be around for a few minutes and answer anything you guys have. But thank you so much for letting me talk for a little bit.
Yeah, Devin, thank you so much. If like Devin said, if you have any questions, please put in the comments. If we can address them here, we will. If not, we have Devin and a few others within the team that he's part of watching the questions, and then we can address. But thank you so much. You know, I think that overall, I deal with stress pretty good, but you know, I think sometimes I'm in that 55% of Americans who report occasional stress throughout the day, right? And you may be one who has more stress than others. And so depending, you know, like there's a lot of great products that can help you with that, but a lot of great content. I didn't get the whole list of the 10 tips that you shared, but I'm surely going to go back. I'm going to look at the slides. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm like, okay, what can I implement? And so everyone who's listening, whether you are watching live or on replay, share this with someone. It's such great content. And like Devin said, there's so many factors that can cause stress for us. And then I start thinking about going into the holidays. Like this weekend, I'm going out of town for a wedding. The next weekend, I got to go out of town for something else. And then suddenly we're in the holidays. I'm like, oh, there's a lot going on, right? So how can we deal with stress with proper nutrition, exercise, and other tips? And then how can these products also support us dealing with stress and get the proper sleep and rest that we need? So thank you so much. It looks like we got some good comments of just thanking you, Devin, just great information. So make sure you share this. If you're watching on YouTube, you can share the link. It will stay there. If you're on Facebook, you can tag them. But also we'll put the link to YouTube, which is sometimes easy to share with those who may not be within that Facebook group. So thank you again, Devin. We're going to wrap up. You guys will be back next month with another topic from the experts. So thank you for joining, everyone. And Devin, thank you one more time.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll see you guys.
Bye.